wabarakatuh. So today we are going to dealing about the nutrition in human being. See, human beings how they are getting the nutrition. We can say basically we are dealing with that. We have one of the canal. We can say one of the passage in our body is present. See, the alimentary canal, that is known as what? Alimentary canal, is basically a long tube extending from the mouth to the anus. See, the mouth is first part where we are putting or we are entering the food. After that, whatever the procedure and moving through this any alimentary canal, after some waste material or nitrogenous waste is going to expel out through the anus. Okay, in figure 5.6 we can see that the tube has different parts. See, first of all you just see this figure, this having a different parts, different labelings, but it is a single alimentary canal from mouth to anus. Okay, see, first here we have muscular part, that is nothing but the tongue within mouth or the buccal cavity, oral cavity it is also known. After that, a food pipe is known as what? Esophagus or oesophagus, how you are going to pronounce it. See, above the stomach one membrane is present, that is known as diaphragm. Below that we have our liver. In liver the bile duct is present, that is going to store the bile juice and also known as gallbladder. Okay, so here one duct is present in gallbladder, that is known as bile duct. All those are within the liver. Next here, next to that we have stomach. Stomach is responsible for the all digestion and all the secretion synthesis of the different fluids. Coming to the pancreas. Pancreas also a gland. It is responsible for the production of insulin hormone. After that, it is connected with the small intestine where all the food, digested food is going to absorb, and whatever the waste material is not required by our body is thrown in the large intestine or colon. Okay, after that we have one of the junction, we can say, in between large intestine and small intestine, that is known as what? Appendix. And ultimate, the last final state we can say or organ we can say is anus, from where the waste material is going to expel out. See, here we can see that the tube has different parts. Okay, so as we have gone through, various regions are specialized to perform different functions. What happens to the food once it enters our body? We shall discuss this process here. See, here we are going to discuss all those things. First we have one activity. Take 1 ml of starch solution, that is of 1%, in two test tube A and B. Add 1 ml of saliva to test tube A and leave both test tubes undisturbed for 20 to 30 minutes. Now add a few drops of dilute iodine solution to the test tubes. In which test tubes do you observe a color change? What does this indicate about the presence or absence of starch in the two test tubes? What does this tells us about the action of saliva on starch? See, whatever activity we have learned here, we have gone through here, we are getting the answer in our explanation. Okay, see, Here what they are telling, we need to take two test tube A and test tube B, and we need to add 1 ml of starch solution, that too of concentration 1%. Okay, so in one test tube, assume that in test tube A, we need to spit our saliva. Okay, and after that, we need to leave it for 20 to 30 minutes. Now, again, few drops of dilute iodine we are going to add in both of the test tube. And some of the observations are going to happen. So, what are those observations? We are going to get the answer in our explanation. See, eat various types of food which has to pass through the same digestive tract. Naturally, the food has to be processed to generate particles which are small and of the same texture. This is achieved by crushing the food with our teeth. See, whatever the things we are consuming, it may be a idli, it may be a biryani, it may be a chocolate, it may be a cake, whatever we are having, that is going to engulf in our mouth. From that, the process of chewing, mastication, grinding, crushing, all those things are going to begin at our buccal cavity only, from the teeth itself. Since the lining of the canal is soft, the food is also wetted to make its passage smooth. See, whenever we are having the food, at that time we are feeling that water is being added to that food. When we eat something, we like our mouth waters. This is actually not only water, but a fluid called saliva, secreted by the salivary glands. Another aspects of the food we ingest is its complex nature. See, first thing what they are doing, whatever the food fluid released from our mouth, oral cavity, is nothing but the saliva. It is secreted from the salivary gland. What it is going to do, firstly, it is going to wet the food particles, whatever we have consumed. After that, it is going to help to convert that complex molecule into a simpler form. It has to be broken into smaller molecules. This is done with the help of biological catalyst called enzymes. See, some of the biological catalyst, we can say it is the chemical substance released naturally in our body. So it also contains, saliva also contains some of the enzymes which is crucial for the breakdown of complex molecules into smaller molecules. The saliva contain an enzyme called salivary amylase. See, it is one of the most important enzyme released in the saliva that breaks down starch. Salivary amylase is going to break mainly starch. No doubt it is helping in digestion process, but specifically it is going to break down the starch, which is a complex molecule to give simple sugar. See, starch is one of the carbohydrates and sugar is also one of the carbohydrates. But difference is that starch is in a complex form and sugar is what, as compared to starch, it is simpler form. The food is mixed thoroughly with saliva and moved around the mouth while chewing by the muscular tongue. See, whenever we are chewing from our teeth, crushing it, blending it, or snatching or tearing, whatever we are doing with the help of our teeth, after that our tongue used to move that to food from right to left, left to right, and it is going to help for the movement of that particular food. Okay, it is necessary to move the feed in a regulated manner along the digestive tube so that it can be processed properly in each part. See, when we have completed our mastication, chewing, tearing, all those process, what it is going to do, it need to move to our food pipe. Okay, so uh, why it is moving means, if it is not moving means every part need this energy, so it won't going there. The lining of canal has mucus that contract rhythmically in order to push the food forward. This peristaltic movement occur all along the gut. See, it is going to begin from here. If it begin here means from here up to here, this process is going to complete. Mainly here, from here to here, this is known as peristaltic process. See, all the inner lining is having mucus in it, and that too it is contracting rhythmically and relaxing rhythmically. See, from the mouth, the food is taken to the stomach through the food pipe or esophagus. The stomach is a large organ which expands when food enters it. The muscular walls of the stomach help in mixing the food thoroughly with more digestive juices. See, once the food enter to the stomach through the esophagus means here the the stomach is going to expand. Okay, why means due to presence of that food. The muscular walls of the stomach help in mixing of food thoroughly with, say, digestive juices. Whatever the digestive juices are released from the stomach, that is going to helpful in the digesting of that particular food. See, the gastric, the digestion in stomach is taken by taken care of by the gastric glands present in the wall of stomach. These these release hydrochloric acid. These release hydrochloric acid, a protein digesting enzyme called pepsin. Pepsin is enzyme an enzyme which help in the digestion of protein itself. Next, and along with some of the mucus, the hydrochloric acid creates an acidic medium which facilitates the action of the enzyme pepsin. See, if the acidic medium is created by hydrochloric acid, that is going to helpful for the pepsin to facilitate or it is work efficiently. What other function do you think is served by the acid? The mucus protects the inner lining of the stomach from the action of the acid under normal conditions. See, whenever the acid is releases, along with that some of the mucus also release for the protection of stomach's inner wall as well as whatever the organ is interlinked to it or integrated with it. See, we have often heard that adults complaining about acidity. Can this be related to what has been discussed above? Yes, absolutely it is related. How means, once when we slept, we are going to sleep about 6 to 8 hours. Okay, and whatever the food we have eaten at the dinner, and that is going to digest it completely. Okay, now our stomach require more food for its work. Okay, no doubt it is going to release the acid in the morning too. If it won't get any of the food means at that time the acid level is going to hurt our inner mucus lining, inner lining of the stomach. That condition only is known as what? Acidity. See, here We need to have our breakfast until from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. In between that period only we need to have. Why means the amount of acid is produced by more by our stomach. The exit of food from the stomach is regulated by a sphincter muscles. See, which releases it in a small amounts into the small intestine. See, once only whatever the food is digesting in our stomach, not at once it is going to intestine, small intestine, because there are certain muscles which is responsible for releasing this food smaller in a smaller quantity by smaller quantity in gradually we can say. The food now enters small intestine. This is the longest part of the alimentary canal, which is fitted into a compact space because of extensive coiling. See, here whenever we are discussing about the alimentary canal, at that one part is we can say it is too long, that is nothing but the smaller intestine. The length of small intestine differ in various organisms, animals, depending on the food they eat. See, we can categorize them based on their categories. They having a different length of small intestine. See, if we go to herbivorous, if we went to herbivorous eating, they are eating the grass, need a longer small intestine to allow the cellulose to be digested. See, for the digestion of this component, cellulose component, they need a larger intestine, longer small intestine to digest this substance to be digested. Meat is easier. See, meat as compared to cellulose, meat is easier to digest. Hence, carnivores like tigers have a shorter small intestine. See, why they have small intestine means you can give reason here. Okay, just because meat is easily digestible as compared to cellulose, that's why they have what, smaller intestine. Whereas what about the herbivorous? Herbivorous require longer small intestine due to digestion of cellulose. Okay, the small intestine is the site of complete digestion. See, whatever the procedure start at buccal cavity, it need to end or it is going to complete within the small intestine. Okay, here the nutrients like carbohydrates, protein and fats are going to digest it. It receives the secretion of the liver and pancreas for this purpose. See, here not only the stomach, along with that, two vital organs like pancreas as well as liver also involved in this process. The food coming from the stomach is acidic and has to make it alkaline for the pancreatic enzymes to exit. Whatever the enzymes released from the pancreas, they require alkaline medium. As we know, when the food is present in our stomach, it is acidic in nature. So, to balance that, bile juice from the liver accomplishes the form of large globules which makes wait, I just gone to next line. See here what is going to happen. Bile juice from the liver accomplishes this in addition to acting on fats. See, Not only it is making alkaline nature of that particular substance, as well as it is going to help in digestion of fats. Okay, digestion of fats, it is going to help. Fats are present in the intestine in the form of large globules, which makes it difficult for enzyme to act on them. Bile salts break them down into smaller globules, increasing the efficiency of enzyme action. This is similar to the emulsifying action of soap on the dirt that we have learned about in. See, what they are doing means the fats. Okay, see, here the pancreas secretes pancreatic juice, which contains enzymes like trypsin for digestion of protein. See, earlier we have gone through pepsin, as well as now here it is one more enzyme which is responsible for digesting the protein as well as lipase. See, for breaking down emulsified fat. See, whatever the fat is emulsified, along with that they are going to digest both of them, protein as well as lipase. The walls of the small intestine contain glands which secrete intestinal juices. Say, the walls of small intestine, it contains some of the glands and which is releasing the intestinal juices. See, the enzyme present in it finally convert the proteins to amino acid, complex carbohydrates into glucose and into fatty acid and glycerols. See, the all things which is digested in stomach and in small intestine. Now the enzymes, whatever they present in that, they are going to convert protein into amino acids. See, proteins are complex form and amino acids are simpler form. Complex carbohydrates into glucose, and the carbohydrates are going to convert into a glucose, whereas fats are going to convert into a fatty acids as well as glycerols. See, digested food is taken up by the walls of intestine. Here, the inner lining of the small intestine has numerous finger-like projections called villi. See, it is one of the, we can say, unit which is most important for the absorption of digested food. Villi. How it is helping means it increases the surface area for the absorption. See, whatever the food is digested, that need to absorb and went to blood. For this reason, villi are very helpful. The villi are richly supplied with blood vessels which takes the absorbed food to each every cell of the body, where it is utilized for obtaining energy, building up new tissues and the repair of old tissues. See, after absorption in blood, the whatever the tissues are damaged, that is going to restored, as well as whatever the new building up of tissues is required, that is going to done by the blood itself. Okay, the unabsorbed food is sent into large intestine where its wall absorb more water from this material. See, whatever the water liquid content went along with the along with the food, unabsorbed food, from that the large intestine is going to absorb large amount of water, where its walls absorb more water from the this material. The rest of the material is removed from the body via the anus. The exit of this waste material is regulated by the anal sphincter. See, here the anal sphincter muscles or tissues are responsible for releasing that particular nitrogenous waste out of the body. Okay, see, dental caries or tooth decay. It is caused gradual softening of enamel and dentine. It begins when bacteria acting on sugars produce acids that softens on demineralizes the enamel. See, masses of bacterial cell together with food particles stick to the teeth to form dental plaque. Saliva cannot reach the tooth surface to neutralize the acid and plaque covers the teeth. Brushing the teeth after eating removes the plaque before the bacteria produce acids. If untreated, microorganisms may invade the pulp, causing inflammation and infections. So, see, that's why it is not advised to have more amount of sugar, more amount of carbohydrates. See, whenever we are eating the food, we need to brush it off. Why means our saliva doesn't work when the plaque is going to develop. Plaque is nothing but the substance formed after a, a reaction of sugar plus microorganism. Okay, so we need to be very careful, otherwise it is going to lead into a dental cavities, dental problems. Okay, and tooth decay too, and it is, we can say, a horrible condition if it is happen, and we need to take care of them as soon as possible. We need to go to the dentist. If the infection is more, then the treatment is suggested by the dentist. If it is less, mean that is going to done or deal on this spot by the dentist. Okay, viewers, I hope so you are understanding, you are enjoying my lectures. So keep watching my videos, shorts and live streaming, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe and hit the bell icon. So, Allah Hafiz, दुआ में याद रखना.